It's recording.
It is recording.
Yeah, that's gonna be very laggy, Chris.
Anyways, we're starting recording. Hello, BSF YouTube.
That's right, I forgot I'm gonna record it.
We should get some better program to record with.
What do you mean?
Like a program that's made for recording conversations and stuff. Or for apps or something.
I've done it before with this.
Alright.
Well, happy to start.
Huh?
Okay, well, let's start.
Where did these melons come from? What the heck?
Before we do anything... There, that should be better. Now you guys should be able to talk over everyone when you're talking.
So, anyway. About creative.
Alright, so you're proposing...
I'm proposing that they should have access to building with creative mode inside of their safe havens things that they get when they donate for VIP. Which is gonna be about like 75 by 75 or 100 by 100 blocks, something like that, I'm thinking.
Basically.
Plus their kingdom's capital, which their king already has access to, like build as much as they want with creative and world it. So under the leading of their king, they can build in their kingdom's capital city, kind of. That's what I think. Which will, because that's gonna give us the their kingdom's capital. The kingdom capitals can be like they can be like good looking and like big and stuff, like a real kingdom. But at the same time, we keep like the small town feeling kind of in the survival towns, which I think most like lower ranks will appreciate, that doesn't have creative mode and stuff like that.
So, basically you're suggesting that creative modes are not allowed to build in villages that are in the wilderness.
No, they can't build with creative. They can build in the wilderness, but not with creative mode.
Well,
Like their creative mode will be restricted to only their own safe haven, or other VIP safe havens if they are granted permissions to build there. Plus their kingdom's capital with permissions from their king/queen.
Yeah, but if they want to start a town or something, they're gonna have to go, like, the kingdom leader you have to go ask them. And your kingdom will, like, you'll be like, yeah, you're a fitted person to make a town, so you find the right area, and the kingdom leader approves it.
Oh no, I agree with the idea.
Okay, my internet crashed right there, sorry. But, yeah, continue on that. What they're gonna do is, once they get a town, they're gonna be able to have walls around it, and then it'll make it so it's impenetrable by people.
I'm confused here. How is this gonna work with, how is their inventory going to be switched from creative to survival when they leave?
We already have that right now.
Yeah.
We already have it right now. We have a plugin called Limited Creative for that, which simply whenever you go into creative mode, you get a separate inventory, and then whenever you go into survival, you're gonna get a separate inventory, and then it's gonna save that survival inventory for whenever you go back. Like if you have a special inventory, like you have a torch when you're in survival, then you switch to creative, you cannot lose that torch while you're in creative, and you have a separate inventory. But then when you go back to survival, you're still gonna have that torch in your inventory.
Okay, that makes sense.
We already have it like that now. We have had it like that for like months. So.
Okay, alright, motion one.
But you're the judge here, Chris. So I guess you're deciding.
Motion 1 passes.
Alright, what's the next thing, Candle? That'd be...
I guess that's a kingdom.
Yeah, but no,
Kingdoms.
actually, the kingdom size is kind of what's next, I guess, so hey, you can talk about it.
What do you mean the kingdom size? I'm thinking the whole
Not
map
size,
should be
I
like
mean
split up.
the amount of kingdoms, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah, I'm thinking the amount of kingdoms, since right now we have like 8 kingdoms, 7 if you don't count Severvan. So basically what I think we should do is like, first of all, to make Severvan like kind of a staff only place, like it's like the government of BSF.
That's what it kind of used.
Yeah, like without the king running it. So it's like basically like the High Council is running it. So anyway, but the other kingdoms they stay the same pretty much, except for that we get rid of 2 kingdoms, which will give us 5 kingdoms plus Severvan or whatever. And this is because I think that it's getting kind of confusing with having like 7 kings I mean 8 kings even, that's always inactive and never online. And so whenever they come online again, they don't know about the updates. It's like it's very hard to inform them and stuff. So they barely know about the updates anyway. So yeah, it's and I mean it's better to have 5 active kings that's running the kingdoms, rather than having like 8 inactive kings. And I mean, what was it? I was gonna say something.
Basically, this is just gonna make it so we're not gonna have the chaos of losing kings, like...
Yeah, and we can keep a higher demand on kings. Like the kings have to remain active. They can't just like get promoted to king and like feel that they have accomplished everything they wanted, and now they can go inactive forever and ever and still be king. You know, like we can keep a higher demand on them. Like they have to remain active, and basically that's gonna give us like decent admins that's not always offline and stuff. That's because I mean. Yeah, because I mean the kings are supposed to like to run the kingdoms. I mean they're supposed to run the server like day to day, the day-to-day stuff on the server. I mean the staff is only supposed to be like background. And then it's better to have like a few kings that's working together as a team, rather than having like 8 kings who barely know each other.
Kano, I think Katsu had a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what happens to Nafakler? He will be offline till January.
Probably gonna be. He's not gonna be a king unless
Well,
he'll have to earn it back. Basically, I think.
Yeah, well we can't really say that right now because we don't know how like the server is gonna look in like 6 months. It's really hard to say. I mean the server could change a lot, so it's really hard to say.
Theoretically speaking, if we kept on this system of how we have it right now, how like there's gonna be 5 kings, there'll be a small chance that he'd actually come back and be like, "Here's your king rank," because we're only at 5, and by our hopes, we're gonna have those positions constantly full.
What 3 kingdoms were you talking about getting rid of?
No, not 5 kingdoms. Well,
Severone is technically a kingdom.
No. I mean, we keep 5 kingdoms plus Severvan, but Severvan doesn't have a king. Like Severvan is run by High Council only, like, which is like staff and you. And so I'm thinking getting rid of Legardus and Gardusef, since those are the 2 most inactive kingdoms.
Most of the time.
And what?
Gardusef and Legardus. They are the most inactive kingdoms. So we would have like 6 kingdoms in total, but one of them would be Severvan, which is like the government, kind of.
So I take it I keep the role of screen.
What was that?
Sorry, what?
I keep the relic to myself.
Well, we'll be deciding that during the new Mac who gets king or not, but if you're already a king or a queen, there's probably a high chance, if you're active, that you will be a queen on the next map, or king. So, yeah.
Basically the kings and yeah. What Rob said. Well, basically we keep the the kings and queens for now for the kingdoms that we're keeping, which is Azaravia, Lilac, Vivian, Deliri, and Alum.
Yeah, and we're also gonna try to
As long
make it.
as long as their kings remain active. Same thing goes for princes and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah.
we
Also, when
drop
sorry.
those 2 kingdoms, we just make other lands bigger.
Yeah, and that would
Yeah, indeed.
make it so that it's not so chaotic with people building like, I don't want to go build in my friend's kingdom because the map's so small, etc., etc. But we also, another motion we can actually talk about now, which is something me and Candle talked about. I don't know if we actually put it on the forums, but a little system we devised of how a land that someone owns or a town they live in, what they can do is they can basically, instead of just like people from another kingdom, they won't be able to just go into their friend's town in another one and be like, I'm just going to build my house right here. What they'll have to do is, in the scenario of a town, they'll have to go talk to the town owner and he'll have to say, yes, this guy can build here,
They
and then
don't
he'll give
really
them
have to do
permission.
that. Like the mayor and the vice mayors of the town, or whoever the mayor gives permission to edit in the town, can set up like they can make like plots in a town. Then they can set up like buy signs on the or rent signs or just like give away for free signs on the plots. And basically the players only have to like right click those signs and they get to they pay an amount of money to get
Yeah,
the plot
that's
pretty
kind of what I
much.
meant to say actually, but
And the same thing with like renting the plot or yeah.
also
Like we have in the mall right now. You can check out the mall. It's all set up like that.
the only problem with that you might think is in it is how there's going to be wilderness is going to be moderately dangerous in some situations. So major towns and stuff like that, not actually even all of them actually. It might just actually sum down to just the capital, but we'll find out. But what it's gonna, it's like there's gonna be either to just the capital or all the towns and stuff. They're gonna have a warp to them, and so if someone doesn't have to like, if I want to go live in my friend's town, I'm not gonna have to cross my kingdom border, risk dying and losing all my stuff, and going over there, then traveling from home to home. Basically, there's just gonna be a way to warp between each kingdom and stuff. And yeah, we might even
Basically,
set up a
we're
system.
keeping warps. We're keeping
Yeah,
warps for everyone, but there's only gonna be a few restricted, a very restrictive amount of warps, which is gonna be to like the official towns, to the kingdom capitals, and to the capital city, basically.
The warps
I
would
might have
have to
forgot
be,
some.
all the warps would have to be reset with a new map anyway.
Yeah, of course.
just
And
limited.
but I mean, we wouldn't let anyone. I mean, we wouldn't like with a
You'd
very few.
warp to capital and like end up inside a mountain or something.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we reset all the maps, but we don't let anyone like make warps in the middle of nowhere, because that could like they could like make warps like right next to settlement, you know, the oil rigs and stuff,
Isn't
and then we
setting
could
a
just like
warp,
go there and capture it all the time. So basically, I'm thinking that we should only allow warps to only allow warps to the official towns, which is gonna be about like 20 or 25 or something like that.
Yeah, well,
Plus the
numbers may
kingdom
vary.
capitals, plus the capital city, and that's basically all the warps.
isn't warping already restricted to, or setting a warp already restricted to higher rank?
It's
It's Mayor
restricted to a
Plus right
higher
now.
rank, but
It's Mayor Plus right now, but I'm thinking we should only have it like Owner
Staff
Plus or
Plus.
Staff Plus, because it's only gonna be for like we can't like we can't allow warps like in the wilderness and everywhere. So it would only be like Staff Plus that can make warps to only keep a very restrictive amount of warps.
Well, you can limit it even more.
What do you mean?
You can keep to the capitals of each continent, and from there make transport rooms that transport you to each of the official towns.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
could go to that later, but I think that's too much right now because whenever we removed warping, people were like they were complaining a lot, and we still had the portals to the kingdoms, but it's still like repelled pretty much. You remember when Chris removed the warps?
Our goal is probably actually gonna eventually be that because it's
If
not
people
that
want
hard
that.
to. Well,
If the people of
yeah,
Bsf want that,
that's true.
we're not
But
just gonna remove them like out of nowhere.
yeah, no. But the point is that it will make it so that people can't just like travel around from home to home instantly. They'll actually have to have the element of traveling a little bit, which is what we kind of tried to implement on this map. Didn't go so well though, but it'll help do that.
Well, it's mostly because people were used to it.
Yeah, but
Can
a lot of. Okay, you go on.
I think that eventually we should probably have underground or anywhere really paths to go from capital to town or some way like that.
Possibly.
Yeah, in the future maybe.
We have plugins that can actually do that quite well, so that's completely possible.
Yeah.
Well, we can
Or
always
just suit for world it's
we can
basically.
always build better rail systems too.
That's true.
Yeah, but underground this time, so don't like mess up the map on Dynmap.
Yeah, those did look a little bit weird.
Oh, and about Dynmap, I think we should whenever we finish making the map, we should like print a screen of the map and like mark out the oil rigs and I mean settlements and the official towns and stuff. Mark them out on the map, but then it has to be like only for like staff or king plus
Well,
maybe
you could
the
do
live Dynamap now. Because
The live Dynamap.
otherwise people could see other people's building in the buildings in the wilderness, and they could just go there and grief it. We don't want people to know exactly where people are building, but we allow them to have a map so that they can like orientate themselves, so that they can like use coordinates to see where they are at.
So yeah, like when the map starts, we'll just have on our website instead of like it says click to join to connect to Dynamap, it'll say click to look at server map. And also that thing about how only kings and staff could go in it. We can always just do that through a system. I think that Dynamap has.
No, it's very easy. I can
Yeah.
easily enable log on requirement to see the Dynamap.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So is that passed?
What?
Is that notion passed?
About the warps?
Yeah.
And the kingdoms.
Kingdoms pass.
Yeah, the Kings was already passed, but was the Warps one passed to limited?
There's only a very few people on Malmo, to be honest.
Kind of typing it into the.
Alright, well, I think the next motion would be PvP, maybe? Or how it's interacted in the new map.
PvP is disabled everywhere except for in the wilderness. By wilderness, I mean areas that's not inside of kingdom capitals or inside of official towns. The official towns, which is gonna be, as I said earlier, about 20 or 25 of them. And it's gonna be restricted to like 3 or 4 per kingdom. It's gonna be like it's gonna be a specific limit per kingdom. And basically it's gonna be like griefing and PvP is gonna be technically like impossible inside of these towns and kingdom capitals, along with spawn and capital city. But outside of this is the wilderness, and there griefing and PvP is allowed in the wilderness. Basically, so that people can we encourage people to build in these official towns. But if they really wanna be on their own, they can. Basically, they can just go anywhere, go far away. Because the map is gonna be huge, so it's still gonna be very hard to find them.
Also, I want to add on to this.
And no, wait, everyone can still set their home. They can set a home somewhere in the map, but they won't be able to set a warp inside of a settlement or oil rig.
What happens to people who don't want to get griefed and stuff, but don't?
They build
That's
inside
what I
of
was gonna
towns,
say.
basically.
Yeah, they have an option of if you want to play moderately and not get griefed and go PvP and stuff, you can always just stay inside of your town, mine, and build in plots. And the more you mine down there, the more money you can sell, meaning you can buy more land, expanding your town at the same time also.
I was actually thinking even further than that. What if they don't want to be in a kingdom, but don't want to be griefed either?
They could always, right now, we can add on to that and maybe add something for that. That can be expensive land territories out there.
There's gonna be the ocean. The ocean
Yeah.
is not gonna be in a kingdom. They can be in the ocean anywhere they want, not be in a kingdom.
Yeah, that's true. But outside, I'm saying like he's saying like wilderness, where they would just be build in wilderness. They could still build there, but they'd have the risk of it. But there might be eventually be a system where they can buy land out there for high prices. But right now, all that it is that VIPs have their own little crib that they could just build in the wilderness. So that's basically all it is right now.
Yeah, and by the way, no one will be able to like edit in the settlements. I mean the oil rigs, which yeah, it's detailed like explained earlier
Yeah,
in the forum post.
basically,
But
oil rigs
nobody
are,
will be able to like grief it or anything. It's gonna be
yeah.
the same like all the time.
It's just like a tactile position, but we already stated that kind of in the forums. But basically, you just own it to own it, so you earn more money.
Yeah.
And was already gotten past Chris.
They're still discussing it.
Alright.
In the chat.
Just wait then.
You should watch the chat on the server too.
Rock saying that it should that grief should be rolled out totally.
That's pretty much been over mine and no. Well, actually, we haven't really put a vote on that, so I did that now, actually.
Yeah, I'll watch the chat just in case anything pops up.
Well, removing PvP would essentially lead to what we have now.
Yeah, but the thing is, we want people to live in towns to encourage like community playing. And if we don't allow PvP and griefing in the wilderness, people are just gonna build in the wilderness and start their own towns anyway. And yeah, basically, we want people to play together. That's why we're enabling griefing and PvP in the wilderness, along with letting like I mean we also want to like satisfy like PvP players that wanna play PvP, and I think that's gonna make the server a lot more popular.
Just to add, what if we had like different sub ranks like shopkeeper, bank owner, stuff
Well,
like that?
we're gonna have something similar to that, but it's gonna be for like, let's say kingdoms, then branching down to the towns. But things like kingdoms, they're gonna have a system like this. So let's go to king, prince, duke, mayor, etc. There's going to be a lot more kingdom ranks. They're not going to be, none of them are going to be very high powered, except for somewhat prince and princess, and somewhat, and complete king and queen, more or less completely king or queen. But so yeah, and then there'll probably be sub jobs inside of the towns. That's probably going to happen.
Okay, that makes sense.
And also a little system that we could also do if we wished. They're basically a judicial system that is done in old settlements of America. They have it so that people who do more valuable jobs get more land to own, so we might be able to do that.
That sounds pretty cool, actually. I don't know about anyone else, but I actually kind of like the idea of if we end up making the server more based on roleplay, making it less modern and a little more old styled.
Yeah. We're trying to do.
By the way, someone's like trolling Chris and Cannel.
Don't worry about it. Who is that?
Probably Cat. Yeah, it's Cat.
Well, anyways, next motion, or actually not a motion, it's just something that I need to ask about. You know, the whole world sing thing, I actually found a program that's called, I think it's called World Painter or something. And basically what World Painter does is, it just loads up a scale of a Minecraft world, and one thing to note about when you load it up, you can either just tell it to load a seed of a map, and then the most important thing about it is you tell it how much you want it to load. And so how much you want to load is actually what I'm asking about now, because I think we're gonna have to load our map or whatever we're gonna do into World Painter to edit it like the continents that were shown on the forums. So basically, we just need to know a size for how big the worlds are gonna be.
I tried that. I tried to make a 13,000 by 13,000 on the World Painter. My computer, which is high end, doesn't even have enough memory to do that.
Yeah, I think I might actually know how to bypass that. I tried the same thing actually, and it was like derp, 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 not enough memory, crash, crash. But I would actually ask the dev about it earlier. I emailed him, and we'll see if we have a response, if I can find out how to bypass it.
Well, it's a matter of memory, not a matter of a bug or something.
So is it like so if it's saying if it loaded it like crash your computer or something?
Yeah, essentially.
Oh. I know someone with a lot of memory.
Well, think of it as like this.
What test?
Trying to make this whole world that we currently have into just render it all together. That's how much memory it would take.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it is possible to make a custom world.
yeah, it is. It's probably what we have to do actually, but it'd be very, very difficult to. Well, actually, I don't know. I know I want to ask you about this, Chris. But does dynamic map? I would think it does, but does it have a system for generating chunks from the world? For like, it just shows you them.
That's actually the world border plugin.
Then that's all we essentially have to do.
Once you have a map and you set the world border, it'll generate all the chunks. You could type a command and generate all the chunks within the border.
Yeah, that's probably all we need to do. We can just experiment with size.
But if you do it that way, it's a random.
Yeah, no, that's fine. What we could do is actually. What I was thinking we could do is we would first load the world into a server, not necessarily BSF, an anonymous server.
Dynamap will also generate. It'll map the world.
Oh yeah.
Will render, show what the world is.
Yeah, but also what I'm saying is we would just first load the server into a map, and then you would generate it with world border, and then you'd go to the edge, and then you make a big wall around the whole thing. Potentially, you could actually do it with world edit.
You can't go past the border. Is just invisible anyway. It'll knock you back if you try to go.
Yeah, no, I'm saying you just do it right on the border. So when we load the program up into the thing for editing it, we'll see this big red line, and then we'll know where to stop. See what I mean?
Well, actually, my idea on making the map that was made into a true Minecraft map is to make it in segments. We might not have enough memory to make the whole map in one go, but we could make segments and then use world edits to paste those segments together.
Well, we wouldn't use world edit if we did that. We'd use MC edit, but that would be a little bit difficult to voxel sniper. It'd be a large scale.
What's with, are only inactive kings getting demoted, or are other kings who are inactive, like, are you only deleting kingdoms with inactive kings, or are you getting rid of some of the kings as it is?
Only Gardasil and the Gardas.
Most likely, no kings will be deleted unless something pops up.
Oh, okay.
Well, what's the next motion, Cameron?
Well, I think that's the only thing that's not discussed already on the forums that everyone hasn't agreed with, I guess.
I got one thing.
Yeah.
How about making war between the continents?
Or
Oh yeah, actually, I'll talk about that now. Actually, what our system for the continent war, I think we're gonna do is basically the continents. We already have them somewhat mapped out, and on the borders of them, they're gonna have real-time borders with walls on them, or some makeshift sort of wall or something we're gonna have on them most likely. They could just be world borders, and you can only enter and exit through certain entrances and stuff. And when you cross that border, basically, well, you can go over to another kingdom and just raid it as much as you want. But the intentions of raiding is if you wanted to say I'm in Tuluri and I'm like, oh, I want to go raid Lagard, or not Lagard, so I'll just say Gilgamesh for testing purposes. But so I just go over there. I'm like, oh, I could either just go over there and just kill players, or what I could do is I could just go over there and go take over some oil rigs and sawmills and stuff like that, and then I'd have more money gained by hour. So if I just go over there and take over, say, 1 to 3 oil rigs, and then I just keep them for an hour, I'll probably gain a lot of fullions because oil rigs give you money. So then you can just leave or fight, stay there and fight. There also might be wars, but we're not sure.
We talked about the grief system, but what if you actually make sure that people don't grieve their own continent, but that their people would go to another continent to grieve there in the wilderness?
if people destroy the terrain on purpose, we can easily roll it back with. We can easily go around the kingdom with a Hawkeye rollback and roll it all back to look good again, as it used to look. So it's basically it's very easy.
The thing about Hawkeye is you don't have to just be roll back and then the time it'll just be roll back everything they do. It rollbacks if you can make it roll back a certain area. So you stand where the griefed areas or terrain damage is what we're talking about, and then you just say roll back, or this isn't the real command, I'm just making up one. Then you just do the rollback, then the radius, and then how far back, and then it just rolls back everything in that radius for a certain amount of time, and they don't just put it back to the natural thing.
And by the way, they can nobody will be able to grief inside of the official towns and kingdom capitals because they're gonna be protected with World Guard. So only the people that the owner of the plot or region adds to the region will be able to edit in there.
I have a sort of a suggestion. Is there any such thing as a plugin where you can move people via command that you could give to officers? So instead of using old /jail, you can have a realistic taking someone to jail.
Funny enough, I did actually see a YouTuber called Sethwin, which you've probably heard of since he's popular. He created his own jail system with command blocks and beacons, if you really wanted to do that, I guess, but that's debatable. It's not a big thing, but if we wanted to just for more of an element of coolness, then yeah, we could.
There needs to be some way to wirelessly activate redstone and command blocks like that without actual commands.
Well, the thing about command blocks is no one's going to have them on the new map. It's just going to be for building purposes, since command blocks are the most dangerous thing to give anyone in the server. Because you can't limit anyone from coming out. You can't say this person can only make this command block do one thing. You have to just make sure if you give permissions of command block that you completely give that person every command in the server.
Basically, it's gonna be for ops. It's gonna be for ops, but we can if we won't make a huge we won't make a huge redstone creation with only command blocks, but we could make you a specific command block, one command block in a circuit, redstone circuit, if you want to. Basically, that's about it. Because giving permissions for command blocks is basically giving permissions for console.
That makes sense. Of course, is there any way you could protect blocks around a command block? Because that would make sense if you want to do something like that. You can just protect it and then have it hooked up to a button.
Yeah, that's fine actually, because there's actually no need to do that, because if a command block is not accessible via rank, that means they can't edit it. So if it's there, it's there. Nothing can be edited unless an op goes into it and edits it.
Okay.
And if an op happens to put a command block down that does a very terrible thing, and they make it so someone can't activate it, then that's a whole nother story.
Oh, okay.
So, one more thing that I mentioned on the forums on the topic is limiting biomes per continent.
Limiting what per continent?
Biomes. So, like 3 biomes per continent. I read
Oh,
on
biomes.
the forums.
Yeah,
Give a general idea.
that's possible actually with the world planner. You can select areas and change their biomes and naturalize them, so it's accessible. It'd probably be more of something we just do as we edit the map. I don't know.
I don't really like the idea, to be honest. I mean, I guess it gives every kingdom like their special thing. But I mean, everyone is gonna want like the grass biome, for example. Everyone is just gonna build in that one, and nobody's gonna build anywhere else. So it's gonna be very unbalanced.
Yeah, say like if we give a kingdom like you get mostly snow biome, people are gonna be like, no, I don't want to go in that kingdom. Basically, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm suggesting we keep like what we have right now with like
Yeah.
small biomes.
If we really wanted to, we could, when we generate the map, we could enable large biomes. So the biomes in the area would be pretty big, but there wouldn't be 3 things that make up the whole thing.
Alright.
So
What
I guess
next?
that's it.
Just give me a second. Let me see if I can find anything else. So, let's see if there's anything. I think that's about.
Are you just gonna straight up demote the kings that are getting demoted, or are you actually going to like tell them, oh, by the way, you're getting demoted?
They'll most likely be demoted to citizen.
The ones who are extremely inactive and never on the server, I don't think they're gonna mind, to be honest. If they aren't on the server, they can't expect to keep the rank if they're never gonna play on the server anyway.
I guess that's true. But for example, I'm not actually sure of this, but didn't Rob hasn't he been gone because of like school and exams?
To be honest, I'm not sure about
we might not
Rockhouse.
see him for a while. Actually, he had a. Never mind.
Oh.
But anyway, most of the kings are like just like tired of the game or tired of the server, and
Yeah.
basically that's why they're inactive.
Maybe they'll come back eventually whenever they see this new stuff, and eventually maybe they'll become kings once the server expands, or something more or less like it. We'll see.
Yeah, if the server will suddenly like become very active, we could like expand and make
Yeah.
another kingdom or
A lot of this
etc.
stuff is very.
Or increase like the amount of official towns or something like that.
Yeah. A lot of this stuff is really experimental, sort of, because the more popular or less popular the server gets will dictate how we're gonna run it.
Proposition 6, demotion.
We can't just say we need to host, because I mean they could just like log on once every 2 months for like 1 minute, and that would make them active enough.
Well, we wouldn't have to just base it off the little system where it says this person's been on for 2 months. We
No,
just
we-
base it off seeing.
We know if somebody's inactive or not.
Yeah. I mean it's quite. I mean having a specified limit like that.
All you
is
have to
just,
do is type their name into Hawkeye and do a
Yeah.
cat search.
Since I got it to work now again.
I have a last suggestion, and then I'll shut up so you can talk. Um, how would it work with claiming? Are you going to have a huge area where just the one kingdom is claimed, or would it be like eventually every so often you will add, say, more area to the land, and certain people may be bored and feel like they want to go on an adventure and expand their land?
Well, the beginning of the kingdom, the capital, it's gonna be one big area. It's never gonna expand, most likely. The capital is just gonna be one set area. People really won't probably be living in the capital, more or less. There might be some homes in it, but
No,
there's
no.
not gonna be any more.
Nobody can live in there except for the king and the prince.
Yeah,
It's not gonna be for building in. The kingdom is the capital is only gonna be for like show off of the kingdom. Like this is the kingdom.
yeah.
Like
And
this is
then,
what you can do in the kingdom, and this is the kingdom's church. This is the temple of the kingdom and stuff like that. It's not gonna be for like living in.
but
And such.
what?
Making monuments and such.
Yeah,
Yeah.
stuff like that. It's not gonna be for like everybody for like citizens to make houses in.
But for the thing about the towns, what towns would do is basically just the more popular it gets, the more land they get. And if towns are inactive, they'll either be limited very much or they'll be taken down.
No,
They're-
if towns are if like the mayor is too inactive in a town, the
Yeah,
king can like
they'll get
replace him with some other mayor.
yeah.
Like if he's too inactive.
And if there's no mayor who is suitable, which is an unlikely situation, he'll probably just run it until due time.
And also for prince promotions and stuff like that, we're suggesting we implement implement the application form again. Like first of all, they need the permission from the king to apply for prince of that kingdom.
Well,
But then once they applied, they need like permission from they need like the staff to like approve their application basically. Same with mayor really, but it's
I
not
don't
gonna be
think
that hard to get mayor. It's gonna be like
Princes-
basically, yeah.
princes shouldn't be able to actually just say, like, go on the forums and be like, I nominate myself prince, who say I. But what they're gonna do is basically they're just gonna go up to their king. They're not actually gonna go up to their king. No, scratch that. Their king is gonna. The kings don't decide. They're not gonna be like, I like Griefer.tnt.Griefer to be my prince. They're gonna be like, I like this guy, and I'm gonna put him up for application on the forums, and then most likely all members will comment on it, and then the staff will see it. And there's gonna be basically have to be a most likely a unanimous vote throughout all the active staff. They were gonna say
Everybody
yes.
has donate $10. What
Nay.
Wait, did I say capital or did I say kingdom? I meant like expansion of the kingdom.
Expansion of the kingdom, that probably won't happen unless the server flourishes quite a bit.
Yeah. I can see that happening as soon as this gets more popular, though.
Yeah.
If an area gets like destroyed after like getting if for example someone builds an area and then it gets like griefed and abandoned, then we can easily go there with with Hawkeye and like roll it back to the default to like what it was before. So we wouldn't really like run out of land. We can always like refresh it. So like King Plus will be able to use the Hawkeye tool to roll back.
It's pretty interesting that VIP is actually, as Rob just said, better than Prince now. Prince and Princess.
Prince-
Well, the Prince is a higher rank. Like if there's an argument on the server, the Princess say is higher than the VIPs, but I guess the VIPs have like more permissions.
The reason of
technically.
this is because princes, this is probably something we don't need to talk about that much, but
We want
princes
people
were
to-
abused a lot, so they were limited.
Like from the beginning, even VIPs had World Edit. Like when I became VIP, even I had World Edit for like a day before it got restricted. But anyway, yeah, and then like Prince had it for a while, and like half of the map got griefed. Like, not half of the map, but like half of my kingdom got griefed.
Yeah,
And
Kingdom,
so now it's only King Plus.
yeah, it kind of just, we never figured it out since world edits are so, I don't know what the word is for it, hard to track basically. So we're just We just had to take them away.
Again.
What?
And that's another
Ketsu's at it
reason.
again.
What?
Ketsu's at it again. I think.
Don't worry about it.
I think that's pretty funny.
Oops. Is that a Norwegian word? I don't know what that means.
It's like fail.
Oh.
Actually, that's like Dunce hat. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. That's in like old style cartoons and stuff.
Sound bug FTW.
What?
Nothing. Uh-huh.
Oh, that's funny.
I think basically everything's over, so we want to finish this up with the Hunger Games, Chris. Or survival games.
Are you suggesting that we play Hunger Games right now?
Oh yeah, we're gonna play Hunger Games, go.
Yeah.
Battle to the death over which side wins.
Fine, but I'm teaming up with Kano again. And then Kano can die in a corner while I'm getting all the stuff. Again.
Darn it!
Too bad, cat.
Oh boy, lag plates. Oh dear lord, bad thought in my head just now. BSF turns into literal Hunger Games server.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that though. So anyway,
Good.
Capability of learning. You took West.
Sniper!
It was only funny because it was in that high-pitched voice.
No, give me my sniper!
Oh gosh, I probably sound like a 3-year-old right now laughing.
I want my sniper!
So anyway, is there any more motions or propositions?
It's the map reset.
Yeah, it's map reset.
It's basically already.
Yeah, it's basically resetting the map, but people can keep like building their
People-
buildings.
There's
They
only
can't
like
build.
six.
They can keep buildings, but not like not like terrains, because that's gonna mess up the terrain a lot. Like they can keep a building, but not like a whole town or like a part of a town or whatever. Like terrain is gonna be messed up if we like move it. So
We kind of already voted for that already, and it said like
yeah, people
10% of the
want
people.
to do that.
10% of the people said no, so that's not very good.
Why is there only 3 tributes? What the heck?
No, I'm gonna kill all of you.
You're going down. You're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
Oh,
Oh, what's with that? Oh,
fuck you, Cano.
dang it. This is how I feel about that.
But why am I being killed?
No, I don't know. It's not for boxer sniping everywhere.
I just made a few. No one else. Not you. Not definitely
It's not letting. How do you join? It's not letting me.
No, Chris.
It's not going.
Chris, minor buildings. I made a warp for that already. Like if you warp to transfer, I made it like a huge grass area where King Plus can like move buildings. I mean they can copy buildings that people want to keep to that grass area, and then we'll just move the whole grass area to the new map, and then I move the buildings out. So but we're gonna move like the big buildings separately, like the spawn, the capital city, if we're gonna keep all the whole capital city, and yeah, the mall.
So now should we end off with the Hunger Games?
No.
Oh.
All right, so now the last thing would be time frame.
Christmas. Christmas Day
Nice.
would be BSF's Christmas present.
Wait, what?
If you're gonna,
I think we should do a date once we're done making the map, and then release it on the forum.
not gonna be.
Yeah, we need to fix the map first.
Approximately 3 months. At most. 3 months at most. Or probably, actually 1.5 months at most. Oh, I'd say that. Actually, that's right, Kendall?
Year's Day.
Why does she have a voice changer that's that high pitched?
New Year's Day, that would be your time frame.
New Year's Day?
Yeah.
How many days away is that?
Like a month and a half.
Alright, it's fine. We should have it all done and being started to release by then.
Sounds good. Like that's when we transfer the map, I guess.
Yeah, that's when we need to have the map done and ready to be transferred onto actual BSF. And at the same time, all of the plugins, etc., will probably be set up. But
Oh yeah, Chris, I need you to fix FileZilla, like the FileZilla for me, because I'm gonna really need that for resetting all the files and stuff. I can't do that with the normal control panel.
Trying to figure that out.
I'm
Trying to
thinking,
figure out how to add
like,
a user, but
yeah, but why can't I just use your username, like your FileZilla username?
FileZilla username and password.
Is it the same as the control panel, or? Didn't you make a ticket about it earlier?
I'll get it for you.
Okay, nice.
I think this lava pillar wants a hug. It looks like it. Have a hug. 20. Wait, no, I have 20 levels crap. Oh, dang it.
Alright, something that about does it.
BSF, BSF, BSF. We are beasts. Goodbye.
I guess the meeting is over.
Yep.
And I'm gonna go to bed. It's 3 a.m.
We need to make a BSF.
Bye, Cannel.
We should make a BSF music video. That would be hilarious. Oh gosh. Let's have an after party celebrating the fact that Katsu can no longer write dunce over Chris's head.
I was writing tons of these.
Harsh sounds sad now. Very, very sad. Chris, the lava pillar needs a hug. Give it a hug.
He's too busy hugging everyone.
Now the cake pillar. You need to be able to make French fry blocks. That would be sneaky. It would be amazing. Wait, let's make an anvil TNT cannon before the map resets. Anyone?
No.
Aw. That'd be hard, actually. I think.
57 minutes.
It's a lot of footage.